Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the books on something that powers our daily lives, but we rarely think about the budget of our local town or city.
Have you ever really stopped to wonder how your town actually pays for everything? The parks, the schools, the roads? Well, today we're going to take a peek inside that collective wallet. We'll see where the money comes from, where it all goes, and most importantly, why it really matters to you.
All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll see just how big this wallet is, then we'll look at the income sources, and after that, how the money is spent. We'll do a quick financial health check, and finally, we'll connect all the dots and see what it means for us.
Okay, first up, our town's big wallet. Before we get into the details, let's get a sense of scale here. Just how big a player is local government in the grand scheme of things?
So you'd probably guess the central government in Tokyo is the biggest economic player, right? Well, take a look at this. It's not even close. Local governments all combined have an economic footprint that's more than double the central government's. They are the real engines of public spending that shape our day-to-day reality.
And just think about the services you rely on. The schools, public health, the police and fire departments. I mean, these numbers are amazing. The overwhelming majority of these essential services are handled by our local authorities. The central government might set the broad policies, but it's our towns and cities that are actually on the ground, delivering the goods.
Okay, so if local governments are spending all this money, you've got to ask, where is it all coming from? Let's follow the money trail back to its source.
All right, so here's the breakdown. The biggest single piece of the pie, not surprisingly, comes from local taxes. That's the money we and local businesses pay directly. But what's really key here is that if you add them up, a huge chunk of the money actually flows down from the national government in a couple of different ways. That's crucial for balancing things out across the country.
So think of it like this. Local taxes are your direct subscription fee for living in your community. The local allocation tax is kind of like a fairness fund, making sure a tiny rural town can still provide good services, just like a big city. And then you have national disbursements, which are more like grants for specific projects, money that comes with strings attached, say, to build a new highway. So we've seen the income column. Now let's flip over to the expenses side. Where does all this cash actually go? And whoa, look at that. By far, the biggest expense is social welfare. We're talking nearly 28% of the entire budget. That covers everything from childcare support to taking care of the elderly, and it's a stark reminder of the financial pressures from Japan's demographics. After that, you've got the other big-ticket items: education, public works like roads and bridges, and paying back loans. Now here's a really important idea. Almost half of all that spending is basically locked in. It's what's known as obligatory expenses. These are the fixed costs. Think of them like the rent and the utility bills for the town. They have to be paid no matter what. And here's what makes up those must-pay bills. You've got personnel costs, paying teachers, city workers, firefighters. You've got social assistance, aid that's legally required, and you've got debt payments. Put those three together and bam, almost half the entire budget is gone before anyone can even start talking about new projects, like a new park or a community festival. Okay, we've seen money in and money out. So what does the bottom line look like? It's time for a quick financial health check.
Okay, get ready for this number. The total outstanding debt for all local governments combined is a staggering 139.6 trillion yen. I mean, that's a number with so many zeros, it's almost impossible to really wrap your head around it.
And when you see a number that massive, the first question that probably comes to mind is, yikes, is that a huge problem, right? Are our local governments about to go broke? But hold on, that one huge number doesn't tell the whole story. If we look at the trend, you can see the total financial burden actually peaked a few years ago and has been on a slow but steady downward trend ever since. So while the debt is absolutely massive, the situation is actually being managed. And one big reason for that stability is that local governments also have a savings account. Just like a household, they've got reserves set aside. We're talking nearly 29 trillion yen in total. Part of that is a rainy day fund for emergencies like earthquakes, and the rest is specifically saved for future projects. So we've gone through a lot of charts and big numbers. But let's bring it all home. What does all of this mean for you and me? Why does any of this matter? Well, it's actually pretty simple. The financial health of our town directly impacts the quality of our lives every single day.
A healthy budget means well-maintained parks, quick responses from city services, and the ability to invest in our future. A strained budget can mean cuts, delays, and a lower quality of life for everyone.
At the end of the day, understanding this wallet isn't just some boring civics lesson. It's actually incredibly empowering. It's what gives us, as citizens, a real voice to have informed conversations about what our community's priorities should be and what we want its future to look like.
Which leaves us with a final big question. Now that we've had a look inside our town's wallet and we understand the pressures it's under, what should our priorities be? Should we focus on paying down that debt? Should we invest in brand new facilities? Or should we expand social services? That's the real conversation this is all about,